Good day, everyone. I am Majumaima de la Cruz, and I'll be presenting the brief history of the author, Joel Ayala, also the brief history of the song entitled Karaniwang Tao and its analysis using the lens of eco-criticism. And here are the key points or the outline of the presentations. Number one is the introduction. Number two is the brief history of the author and the song. Number three, representations of nature. Number four, eco-critical issues. Number five, ecological wisdom. Number six, metaphors and its influences. Number seven, intertext. And lastly would be the conclusion. And part of it is the work cited. And now let's proceed to the brief history of the author. Joel Ayala. So Joel Ayala is a renowned Filipino singer, songwriter, and musician. He was born on June 1, 1956 in Bukidnon, Philippines. He left an indelible mark on the music scene by blending indigenous Philippine musical elements through his songs. So embarking on his journey no, and his musical career in the late 1982s, I think, no, 1982 in particular. So he was a key member of the influential group named Bagong Lumad, or in translated version in English, na it is New Native. So his discography boasts notable albums, namely Panganay ng Umaga in the year 1984, Magkabilaan in the year 1989, and mga awit ng Tando Lupa in the year 1991. So, what sets Ayala apart is his commitment to addressing social and cultural issues through his music. His lyrics serve as powerful narratives, shedding light on various aspects of Philippine society. So, this dedication to advocacy has earned him numerous awards, recognizing his significant contributions to the rich tapestry of Philippine music. So, beyond his musical prowess, Ayala is a staunch advocate for indigenous rights and environmental concerns. Ayala uses his platform not only to entertain but also to raise awareness about pressing issues affecting marginalized communities and the environment. So that was the brief history of the author, Joey Ayala. And now let's proceed to the brief history of the song entitled Ang Karaniwang Tao. So the song Karaniwang Tao, penned and performed by Joey Ayala, released in the year 1991. It was nestled within his album Mga Awit ng Tanod Lupa. What makes Karaniwang Tao truly remarkable is its infusion of indigenous Filipino musical elements seamlessly woven with modern folk music sensibilities. So it is not only the message conveyed in the song, it is not only the themes portrayed in the song, but I think what makes the song more beautiful, what makes the song more lively is the beat, is the rhythm, no, the tone of the music. So upon my initial encounter with the song, it resonated with a contemporary vibe, featuring a distinctive 21st century beat that felt modern and refreshing to my ears. So for me, it was like a kind of reggae vibe para sa kuha. So that was the brief history of Karaniwang Tao. And here is the statement of Joel Ayala. So Joel Ayala made this statement during an interview of Ateneo School Press in 2015, as they inquired the meaning and the significance behind um, the songs of Joel Ayala, especially the song behind the song Karaniwang Tao. So I just read it na lang for us to have a better understanding about the statement of Joel Ayala. So according to Joel Ayala, Karaniwang Tao was originally referred to a song that opposed the presence of US based. So the concept was clear. With the US base in place, there was likely the presence of nuclear arms, making us vulnerable if the base became a target in a conflict involving the US. That was the concept. That was the original concept. As I didn't want the base here, as it made us a potential target, which is why I didn't use it in the album with an anti-US based theme. Instead, I altered it and made the message more environmental, emphasizing the destruction of the world. And in his last statement, he said that when this world gets destroyed, where are we? So, according to him, Karaniwang Tao was originally written, no, with the theme anti-US based. But then, um, I guess because he didn't want it to be more controversial or to be more trivia at the time. So, he altered na lang and made the message more environmental with the very important questions now. When this world gets destroyed, where are we? So that was the statement of Joel Ayala about the questions, what is the meaning and the significance behind the song Karaniwang Tao. And now let's proceed to the representations of nature using the lens of ecocriticism. The first representation of nature is nature as a replaceable. So, in the line of the song, alam ko lang na itong planeta ay walang kapalit at dapat ingatan. So, it explicitly conveys an understanding of the planet or Mother Earth's intrinsic value and underscores the duty to preserve and safeguard it. Also, the song represents nature or Mother Earth as planet who is very significant, stressing its replaceability and the need for responsible care. So, next, letter B, nature as a common ground. So, the song makes the plea for environmental responsibility inclusive, suggesting that lahat ng karaniwang tao or every ordinary people shares a role in preserving the environment. So this fosters a sense of collective duty among people from diverse backgrounds. The specific lyrics, karaniwang tao saan ka tatakbo kapag nawasak na itong mundo, convey that the repercussions of environmental degradation impact everyone equally, emphasizing the universal nature of the environmental crisis. So, these are the representations of nature. Next, let's proceed to the critical issues of the song. So, the initial eco-critical issue would be the daily struggle and environmental impact. In the lines, ako po'y karaniwang tao lamang. Kayod kabayo, yan ang alam. Karaniwang hanap buhay, karaniwan ang problema, pagkain, damit, at tirahan. Di ko kabisado yung siyensa. Ako'y nalilito sa maraming salita. So, in the first half of the lines, no, I've mentioned um, earlier, it portrays the everyday struggles of ordinary individuals, with the speaker expressing a relatable existence centered around laborious work and common livelihoods. Also, the line highlights the fundamental concerns of the karaniwang tao or ordinary person, revolving around basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter, and reflecting a focus on immediate survival rather than broader environmental considerations. Also, in the like last part of these lines, it represents or signifies the speaker's admission of being perplexed by scientific language, suggest a potential lack of education or awareness, underlining the disconnect between everyday concerns and broader environmental understanding in the part. Also, it demonstrates ignorance and confusion, as the speaker expresses confusion and a lack of understanding regarding scientific matters, reflecting a common sentiment among ordinary individuals. So this could be seen of the inadequate education and awareness about environmental issues. So that was the first eco-critical issues. Yeah. Next is waste and pollution. So the song addresses the environmental impact of neglecting common items, illustrating how accumulated trash and damaged vehicles contribute to environmental issues, forming mountains of waste, just like this lines that was evident in the song Kaunting basura ngayoy bundok, kutsing gabok ay umuusok, sabong panlabay pumapatay sa ilog, may lason galing sa industriya, ibinubuga ng mga pabrika. So, this specific mention of pollution from laundry detergents or industrial toxins in the lyrics underscores concerns about the adverse effects of the human activities on air and water quality. So next would be the human contribution to environmental issues. So in the line, ngunit di lamang higante ang nagkakalat ng dumi, translates to, but not only giants spread pollution. So this line suggests that the responsibility for environmental pollution is not solely attributed to large corporations or industries, just like for example, factories, no? So the large corporations or industries referred to as giants, or in the Filipino version, or I mean, or in the Filipino text of giants, um, it is higante. So the following line, may kinalaman din ang tulad natin. It means people like us are also involved, and it implies that ordinary individuals play a role in environmental degradation, emphasizing the collective responsibility for addressing environmental issues. So this underscores the idea that both large-scale industries and the everyday actions contribute to pollution, emphasizing the need for a better understanding of environmental responsibility among individuals. Next is the consequences of environmental destruction. Letter D. No? So the song highlights the dire consequences of our carelessness towards nature, but it's not very evident of showcasing of implying the consequences of it, but through a very short but important question, excuse me, asking sino ang kawawa. So reflecting on this, I've come to understand that our action has an equivalent or a great number of consequences. It might be good or bad, but by taking responsibility for our own actions and doing what is morally right, we can contribute to the collective effort of safeguarding nature. So it was like a voice of the Filipino spirit of solidarity and cooperation, encapsulated in the phrase kapit bisig bayanihan. So those are the examples of eco-critical issues found in the song. Next, let's in this line, what I'm going to do or to present is the key points that align with ecological wisdom, and the question or the values in the song consistent with ecological wisdom. So in this question, the answer would be the values expressed in the lyrics of the song appear to be consistent with ecological wisdom. And the lyrics emphasize the importance of recognizing the commonality of humanity and the need to take care of the planet. It conveys a message of environmental awareness, urging individuals to be mindful of their impact on nature and to take a responsibility for preserving the environment. So that was the answer for this question rather. So the first key points that align with ecological wisdom in the lyrics is the recognition of the interconnectedness of all people. So this line emphasizes a sense of shared responsibility and faith among ordinary individuals. The use of karaniwang tao implies that the concerns addressed in the lyrics are not exclusively to a specific group but apply to everyone, regardless of social status or background. Next is the emphasis on the importance of a planet. So this key points that align with ecological wisdom prompts a listener to think that there is no alternative to the planet, and that as an individual, we don't have the capacity to explore and travel other dimensions in this universe, in the universe, no? To travel Mars, to go to Saturn. We don't have the capacity, but only the astronaut has the ability to do it. So it highlights the unique and fragile nature of our home. So it encourages a sense of responsibility and stewardship, suggesting that safeguarding the earth is not just an option but a fundamental duty. So that was the second ecological wisdom, the emphasis on the importance of planet. And the last key point would be the individual and collective responsibility. So this key point encourages a sense of personal responsibility and prompts listeners to think about practical steps they can take in their daily lives to contribute to environmental preservation. It emphasizes the idea that each person has a role to play in being a steward of nature, promoting a proactive and engaged approach to environmental protection. So those are key points that aligns with ecological wisdom. And now let's proceed to another slide. In this slide, uh, in this part, let's analyze how metaphors of the land influence the way we treat the environment based on the lyrics. So, the first metaphor, no, would be the metaphor of the land as a resource. So the focus on basic necessities like food, clothing, and shelter reflects a utilitarian view of the land as a provider of essential resources, followed by metaphor of the land as fragile and irreplaceable. But not necessarily mean, or not in a literal meaning of fragile as easily broken or damaged. Pero it could be, 'di ba? Like in my own observation lang good, no. Sometimes Mother Earth was broken, Mother Earth was shattered, Mother Earth cried because of the action or behavior of people. Like yeah, land as fragile and irreplaceable. And also it encourages people um, that they really have the mindset to of preservation and responsible stewardship. Ana. So, next is the metaphor of shared responsibility. So, the metaphorical idea of iisang mundo, or in English term, one word, underscores the interconnectedness of humanity with the environment, suggesting that everyone shares a common fate. And last metaphor would be the metaphor of ignorance and inaction. So this confusion can be a metaphor for the widespread lack of awareness or understanding among the general population regarding the intricacies of environmental challenges hindering effective engagement and actions. So those are the examples of metaphors found in the song. And now let's proceed to the intertext. So um, to make it short, or I will cut it short na lang, no, because that was too long. By the way, I'm using Anak ng Pasig by Geneva Cruz as an intertext in the song. So to make it short, the connection between the two songs lies in their shared concern for the environment and the call for individuals. As karaniwang tao puts it, to bantayan ang kalikasan, take care of nature. Both songs speak to the challenges faced by ordinary people and the need for collective responsibility in preserving the environment for future generations. So that concludes my presentation, and I appreciate your attention if you listen, kung naminaw ka. So, thanks for listening.